All right. Hello out there in YouTube land or wherever we're finding each other. Something extraordinary happened today. While while I was at work, and I'm sure other people were. But I get home, I come home, talk to the wife a little bit, and then I look down and I have my messages that I can't check while I'm at work. And Anderson, the great Anderson that I speak of many times here, fellow comic book collector, friend of well over a decade. We've gone to many cons together, Heroes Con, many states together. He sent me a message letting me know that uh, Superman #1 has become the most valuable comic in the world presently, right? And I was like, oh, I can't pass this up. I have to talk about this. This is amazing because as a collector and bit of a comic book historian and just really a lover of this stuff, I was amazed that this is not Action Comics #1. This is Superman #1, right? This is not his first appearance. And if I remember correctly, over the years, I've seen many a reprint of Superman #1 and of Action Comics #1. And I'm pretty sure a majority of Superman #1 were reprints of the first, I don't know, four Superman stories. Hopefully, it's in this article that we're going to look at here. That will tell us that, and with maybe a few new things in it, right? And I really don't think I have seen a Superman #1 in probably 20 years, so I could be misremembering. Somewhere I have a tabloid size reprint of Action Comics #1. I've actually done a video of that showing the few pages and exactly what that was. But this is just amazing. It almost feels like we may have peaked here a little bit, right? So hopefully you guys are seeing the shared video. I'm going to go on here. I'm also going to show on camera here through my phone the auction taking place where this book took off. All right. So, yes, I am using Bleeding Cool. I tried to see a few really quick. I tried to see a few other articles that came on, and well, they were on it, right? So, as you can see right here, most valuable comic, Superman #1, CGC 9.0 sells for a record $9,120,000. That is insane. That is insane to me. That millions and millions of dollars for a Superman #1. The date, of course, is Thursday, November 20th, 2025 for you guys up in the future watching this, right? So here's the summary. Superman #1 achieves a new world record sale, becoming the highest price ever paid for a comic book. The comic features key additions to Superman's origin, including Krypton's naming and the introduction of the Kents. High grade copies of Superman #1 are exceptionally scarce, with only three examples above a CGC 7.5 on the CGC census, right? So, yeah, there you go. Okay. It's the highest price ever paid for a comic book, eclipsing the 2024 sale of an Action Comics #1 at an 8.5, which sold for $6 million. I actually wanted to do a video of that, but I didn't really think anybody would care. Well, it doesn't matter that if they did or not. This to me is something that just blows my mind, which is why I'm doing it. Superman #1 came out in the summer. It's summer of 1939, cover dated, released by Jerry Siegel, Joe Shuster from DC Comics, featuring the debut of one of the longest running and most important titles in American comics history. The issue contains the Superman stories. There we go. From Action Comics 1 through 4, plus new material. With today's sale, the world record price for a comic book has now increased by over 26 times since Bleeding Cool was launched in 2009, when it was $350,000. A record held at the time by both the Marvel Comics #1 and a copy of Flash Comics #1. What a momentous day! A momentous day, says Heritage Auctions Vice President Lon Allen. I'm thrilled for our, I say they are thrilled by our consignor. I can't see it. It's a little further away from me, guys. Superman #1 is a milestone in pop culture history, and this copy is not only unprecedented condition, but it has a movie-worthy story behind it. I was so glad. I was glad to see the price reflect that, and I'm honored. Heritage was entrusted with this iconic book, and it is an iconic cover, right? George Perez has recreated this cover. Alex Ross has recreated this cover. The cover has been homaged many times. My personal favorite is Ambush Bug #1 for his miniseries. So yeah, it's just very iconic. So let's talk about this for a minute. Hey, what's up, guys? All right. It's been a while since I've used a StreamYard, so I'm glad that it seems to be working just fine. My silliness alarm just went off. Hi, Tim. How are you? Yeah, $9 million for a comic book. I feel much better for my last for last weekend for probably going $20 over budget for several comics. So, that are still beside of me here, right? Hey, John is here, Palo's here, Prime Collector's here, and Mackenzie is here, right? So I want to take this opportunity for the 30%, according to analytics, 33% of people watching my videos of past my top legion of superhero stories seems to be a consistent getter of views, if you will. But for the 33% of people who are watching my videos who are not subscribed, and anybody just popping in, go ahead and subscribe, hit that bell so you'll be alerted when I do things like this. And hey, it would just be cool to share and let people know that we're doing comics out there. Oh, wow. Okay. So tons of messages coming in. Okay, so $9 million here. Okay, the emergence of the copy of a Superman #1 onto the market is a classic story of vintage comic book discovery. Three brothers going through their late mother's belongings discover that she had 6 comic books tucked away in an attic of their family home. Among them, a high-grade copy of Superman #1, which now holds that record. By way of direct comparison to Superman #1 CGC 8.0, note this copy is now graded at 8.5. Amazing that it went up. Isn't that amazing? Sold for $5,300,000 January 2022. A mere almost guys, what are we, like 2-3 months shy of too much shy of 3 years ago. The previous record for the highest price ever paid for a comic was set at Heritage Auctions with the April 2024 sale of Action Comics CGC 8.5 for $6 million. The top of the charts, including sales that surpassed the $3 million barrier, currently looks as follows. And to be honest with you guys, the last news I really followed on Action Comics #1 was involved Nick Cage having a copy, and I think it was either sold. I think it was stolen or something, and he regained it. That was years ago. And then we had the family who bought some kind of farmhouse out in the Midwest. And as they were renovating and taking hammers to it, they found that someone had taken Action Comics #1, I believe, and used it, as insulation in the walls. And they were able to find one where they ripped the back of it, looking at it, and then they found another one in the walls, right? So here's a chart right here, guys, which is amazing that Bleeding Cool was able to get this up so quick. In my opinion, they're really on the ball for a change on one of their articles here. Superman #1 CGC 9.0, if you care about such things. November 2025, the 9,120,000 record holder, now the most valuable comics. Right below it, Action Comics 6 million back in April 2024. Superman #1 with a lower grade back in January 2022. $5.3 million. And now, amazingly, somehow CGC made that an 8.5. I'm sure that had nothing to do with any scandals over the years. Could it? Amazing, or could it not? Allegedly. Amazing Fantasy #15, that first appearance of Spider-Man, September 2021, $3.6 million. Action Comics #1 again, April 21st, 3.25. April 2021 was the first one. April 2014, $3,207,000,000 and some change. Action Comics #1, January 2022, $3,800,000. And then Captain America Comics CGC 9.4, April 2022, $3,120,000. That is some serious money for some ridiculous books. Let's face it. Oh man, I would just love to know the stories and the mindset of spending that much. That is fantastic. So we can all just dream of finding addicts with comic books in them. A key driver of the market for high grade copies of Superman #1 is the relative scarcity of high grade copies compared to the other major keys. I personally hold that a lot of comics that are called scarce actually aren't, but it's the high grade of the books that is scarce. That's kind of what I kind of hold. And then we have the CGC census. There are only 3 entries for Superman #1 above CGC 7.5. And then it compares it to other books. Let me see if there's anything else really to talk about here. Here we got the book itself. In addition to collecting the Superman stories from Action Comics numbers 1 through 4, Superman #1 contains 7 additional pages done by Siegel and Schuster, the actual creators of Superman, at the direction of MC Gaines. All right, that should be a name for you comic book aficionados right there. These pages include an expanded 2-page origin section, exactly, a 4-page story showing Clark Kent becoming a reporter, which was added to the front of the story from Action Comics #1, and a scientific explanation page explaining Superman's powers. And that is actually kind of embedded in my head with those powers right there, that the pages they're talking about. The new 2-page origin names the exploding planet as Krypton for the first time, while also introducing an elderly couple, the Kents. They are all key additions into the Superman mythos. On March 27th, 1939, Gaines wrote, "We have decided that for the first 6 pages of the Superman book, we would like to take the first page of Superman, which appears in Action Comics #1, and by elaborating on this page using different ideas for those contained on the page, work up to, I'm putting me to sleep, work up to introductory pages, blah, blah, blah." Also adding on these 2 pages, you will of course leave out the scientific explanation of Clark Kent's amazing strength, as we want a separate page on that item to use further back in the book with the heading of the ship. Man, you know what? I just gave Bleeding Cool some credit and they knocked me out here. So let's get back here. I'm gonna get off of that. And we're going to stop sharing the page, hopefully, if I remember how to do that. All right, guys. There we go. All right, you get to look at my mug now. Let me get back here. A few things. So let's take a look at some comments here and see what we think about that. Then I got to check my phone real quick. Everybody's saying hello. Just realized we're on StreamYard. I'll be able to show this things. All right. Oh, we have oh yeah, blocks out. We have Tommy here. Hello, my boyfriend Stefan loves Superman, and hopefully you do as well. Yes, saying hello. Great to see you. Zinc Cage Comics is here. Josh is here. What's up, guy? Great to see you. The CGC census probably represents less than 1% of all the U.S. comics out there. I'm not a big fan of CGC, but it's been around long enough that there are just people out there who are really into it. And these 9.2s, 9.4s, 9.6, 9.8s, these things are important to them, so they like to know what they have there, despite all the scandals that's been going on, right? So to me, I think this is epic with the fact that we have comic books now that are worth millions of dollars and they're selling records. And I'm always wondering, who are these people who did this? But at the same time, I'm sort of like, I spent $20 on a comic book a couple of weeks ago. I think I may have I don't know, maybe overpaid. So, no more. I will think no more of that. You know what I'm saying? So with our phones and algorithms talking to us, sorry, somebody sent me a joke. I want to show you on Instagram. It came up on Instagram. I ended up following Heritage Auctions on Instagram. Um, I couldn't believe it popped up. That algorithm. Our phones listen to us, folks. So yeah, let me come up there, go to my messages. I've already had it up, ready to go. No. I feel like an important man here for a minute with everybody. Here we go. It is the highest rated Superman book to come out anywhere. I cannot explain to you how amazing this book is. This is the actual Heritage auction. $50,000. I need $7.1 million. 7.1 on the phone of $7.2 million. $7.3 million. I need 7.4. $7.4 million on the phones. Do I hear 7.5? 7.5. Do I hear 7.6? 7.6 on the phones. Fair warning at $7.6 million. $7.6 million. And I kept going and going and going. All right, from $7.6 million, guys. So what's the most you've paid for a comic? You know what I'm saying? This is just insane to me. All right, guys. Thanks for everybody hopping in there, but we're going to keep it kind of short tonight because there's not a lot to say. I don't know who bought it. I hope that comes out. I would love to know how it came out and how it came about that somebody showed up there and they were like, you know what? You know how much money I got to go for this? I got $9 million. I'm going for it. So we'll see what happens in the future, and I'll probably keep following this. Otherwise, you guys be cool. Make sure you've subscribed, hit the bell, and like I said, let me know what you think of this in the comments, or let me know the most you've ever spent for a comic. All right, later, guys.